It was December 7th, 1941. The morning the world changed. Japanese bombers flew toward Pearl Harbor, and at the front of the formation was Captain Mitsuo Fuchida. He raised his radio and shouted the signal, "Tora! Tora! Tora!" The bombs fell, ships exploded, the harbor burned. Thousands died, and Fuchida returned home a national hero. But inside, he felt only emptiness. Across the ocean, a young airman named Jacob DeShazer watched the news in rage. He wanted vengeance. He volunteered for the Doolittle raid, a daring bombing mission over Japan. But his plane was shot down. He was captured and thrown into a Japanese prison. For 3 years, he lived in starvation, isolation, and beatings. At first, he hated every Japanese guard he saw. But then, something changed. In prison, Jacob was given a single book, a Bible. With nothing left but time, he read it from cover to cover. And slowly, his hate began to fade. He realized forgiveness was stronger than revenge. When the war ended and he was freed, he did something unimaginable. He returned to Japan, not as a soldier, but as a missionary. Meanwhile, Mitsuo Fuchida was lost. After the war, he saw Hiroshima, his homeland, in ashes. He had led men to kill, and for what? Then one day, he was handed a pamphlet titled, "I Was a Prisoner of Japan." It was Jacob DeShazer's story. He read it, and for the first time, he wept. He wanted the peace that Jacob had found. He studied the same book, and his life changed forever. A few years later, in Tokyo, 2 men finally met, the pilot who bombed Pearl Harbor and the prisoner who had been tortured because of it. They shook hands. No anger, no blame, only forgiveness. And together, they traveled Japan, spreading a message of peace, compassion, and faith. When Mitsuo Fuchida died in 1976, his closest friend was Jacob DeShazer, the man who had once called him his greatest enemy. Their story proves that the greatest battles are not fought in the sky or on the ground, but in the human heart. They were warriors who discovered that love is stronger than hate. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it can change the future.